In this video, which is the second of our fundamental series, I will talk about the stats of Axies and how they are determined and why they are important. Please enjoy. And here we are again. My name is Trip, and I am the founder of Axie Archipelago Ascension. This video series is called Axie Fundamentals, and this is the second video which will be about Axie stats and why they're important. Here we have a nice Aqua Axie, and on his description page you can see here the stats. This is his class right there, and these are his stats, or her stats. These are the stats. There are 4 stats: health, speed, skill, and morale. Each stat has a purpose and an effect on the game, although 2 of them have very, very strong and important and easy to understand effects, and 2 of them are a little bit trickier. The 4 stats are HP or health, morale, skill, and speed, and each one has a different effect. HP is very easy to understand. It is the number of hit points your Axie has. They can take that much damage before they don't die, but before they're knocked out of the game. The second and also the very, very important skill is a speed, which determines the turn order of a round. So one round is divided into turns, and there's an order to which Axie goes first and which one goes second and which one goes last, and that is the speed. That is determined by the speed. The other 2 stats are skill and morale. Skill is the stat that is used to calculate how much damage an Axie does when it attacks with more than 1 card. So I'm going to explain the damage bonus modifiers in a future video because the math is quite complicated. But let me just say right here that if an Axie attacks with 1 card, the damage will be a particular number. The damage, let's say, will be 100. If the Axie attacks with 2 cards, that 100 will actually increase, and the amount that increases depends on the skill. The final one is a morale. Morale is also quite important, but it's a little bit trickier to understand. The first thing it does is it determines the chance of a critical strike, which as you play the game, you'll realize how important these random critical strikes are, and you want to maximize your chance of getting a critical strike. It can change the game. And it also has a relationship to the chance that an Axie has of entering last stand and how long it will stay in last stand. Last stand is another difficult topic which I will address in detail in the future, but it's an important part of the game. And let's just say that for today, that morale is an important determiner of the chance of entering and staying in the last stand. Those are the 4 stats that we look at, and we can look at some different Axies here. We can look at Jinbei. He is an Aqua, and he has these stats, and this is another. He has these stats, and this is another, and he has these stats. They're different though. Just look at for example, let's look at the speed. This guy is an Aqua. His speed is 47. This guy is also an Aqua. His speed is 54. This guy is also an Aqua, and his speed is 57. Why are the stats different even though they're all Aquas? That's because the stats are determined by the class of the Axie plus the body parts. So there's a calculation involving the class and the body parts. Let's take a look at this. I will link these websites in the notes down below. They're quite interesting. First of all, each class has base stats. All right, so Aqua has the HP is 39, the speed is 39, skill is 35, and morale is 27. Each one is different. Okay, so each class has their own strengths and weaknesses. Plant, as we know, is quite hard to kill. They've got high hit points. It's 43. Dusk is the same, also has high hit points. The reptile is pretty good about hit points at 39. The bird is very fast. It's got a 43. Oh, the mech has a very, very high skill at 43. The morale is quite high with the Beast at 43. Beast, you will notice if you play against them, get a lot of critical strikes, and that's because their base stat is quite high, 43. In addition to the base stat, so we start with the base stat, but then in addition to the base stat, the body parts will add on to the base stats. They might add 0, but sometimes they add in quite a bit. Now, let's talk about body parts here for a moment. Each Axie has 6 body parts, and that is eyes, ears, back, mouth, the horn, and the tail. And you can see them here in the picture. He's got a cute little mouth, and the eyes and the ears. This is the horn up here, the back is there, and the tail is there. So every Axie has 6 body parts. Of these 6 body parts, 4 of them are in use in the game right now. 2 of them are not. The 2 that are not are the eyes and the ears are not in use right now. Like I say, this is room for future expansion. One of the themes of this series is to notice where the game will likely be expanded in the future. So the first place to notice where it will be expanded is with the eyes and the ears. All right. Right now, you can see, for example, there's a back what has a card, the mouth has a card, horn has a card, the tail has a card. There's no card for the eyes and the ears because those are not in the game yet. Maybe yet? I don't know. I assume someday they will be in the game, but they're not now. Anyway, so there are 6 body parts, and each body part has an associated class. So here, for example, Clear, Inkling, and Anemone, each one is an Aqua body part. This is what we call a pure Axie. All 6 of his body parts are Aqua. The class is an Aqua. Every body part, all 6 body parts are Aqua. So this is a pure Axie. That sometimes is good, it's sometimes not good. That's a judgment on each player's part, but nevertheless, this is a pure Aqua. This Axie right here, Jinbei, will start with, these base stats, 39, and then for each Aqua part, they will add these numbers right here. Nothing to skill and morale, so the skill and morale should stay at 35 and 27. Let's take a look at that and make sure. 35 and 27, and so it is. But the hit points and the speed should go up. So for each body part that's aquatic, it should go up 1 point. So it's 6 aquatic body parts, so it should go up from 39. 39 plus 6 is 45. Let's check and make sure it does that. And lo and behold, the health is 45. And for each Aqua body part, the speed will go up by 3. So that's 6 times 3 is 18. 39 plus 18 should be 57. Let's take a look. 57 indeed. That's how these stats are determined. I'm not going to go over every single one, but you should know that the Aqua has a base stats, and depending on the body parts, those base stats might go up or down. Okay, now here's the thing. Even though each Axie has a class, they can have the body parts from a different class. So here's an example right here. This is an Aqua, you can see right there. His name is hard to kill, Backfish High something something, I don't know. But he has only 5 Aqua body parts, and he has 1 plant. That's that rosebud horn. So he's got 5 plus 1. So he is not quite pure. He's a 5 out of 6 purity. So his composition will be a little bit different. So instead of having 6, he's going to have a plus 5, so the hit points will be 44, but he will have plants 1, so it'd be 47. So it'll be plus 5 plus 3 for a total plus 8. So 39 plus 8 should be 47. And other plant, the morale is going to go up 1. So the speed should be 54 because there's 5. It's 15 times, 15 times 3 is 5, and the morale should be 1 higher. Skill shouldn't change at all. So let's just take a look at that and see if that is the case. Indeed, it's 47, the 54, 35 doesn't change, and the morale goes up 1. Is that right? Yeah, from 27 to 28. Okay, so you see how that works. All right. Now, again, you don't have to memorize these numbers. I certainly don't. You should keep in mind that if an Aqua has a plant part, then the hit points are going to be a little bit higher. Morale will be a little bit higher. Now let's look at this last one, which is a real mess. Look at this guy. This guy is all over the place. He's got bird eyes and beast ears, and he does have 1 Aqua part. He's an Aqua, all right. He's an aquatic Axie, but he only has 1 Aqua body part. That's on his back, the shell, and he's got the bug teeth, and strawberry shortcake is a plant, and a reptile tail. Look at that, what a mess he is. So his stats are kind of all over the place. I'm not going to go through the calculation, but you'd have to go through this for the calculation and see how it changes. All right, now, so that's all I want to say about the stats for today. I think that you don't have to know the details about how it's calculated. I think it's interesting. If you're curious, I will leave a link in the video description. Enjoy reading about it and discovering. But what I want you to remember is hit point and speed in particular are very, very important. Skill and morale perhaps will become more and more important as time goes on. They're important now, but more important as time goes on. And this is how it is determined. Here are the stats for all the pure breeds. Maybe the easy way to calculate it, if you want, is just to look at what the pure breed is and then subtract out or add up the one or two missing different parts. But like I said, that's not that terribly important. The most important thing is to know a little bit about what these stats do. And I hope that now that you do understand these stats. So the next video will be talking about the relationship of the body parts and the cards. That will be next. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and keep fighting. Keep fighting.